Welcome to the Golden Feather. Grab a pint, a plate, and pick your seats. Your hosts Vertek and Chibi are back from their latest adventure.
Hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Delayed Feather. Golden Feather. That's gonna stick now, I guarantee it. We had a little bit of an audio issue. We got it fixed, and so here we are. We are on episode 118 on this fabulous 8th of April 2022, and we have a return guest, Revac. How are you today?
Hello. Thank you so much for inviting me again to this wonderful podcast. I'm glad to be here, and I mean, what a time to talk about Ashes of Creation after what we saw the other week. So I'm excited. I can't wait to talk about this. That's all I've been talking about.
You know what? I just realized we totally missed an opportunity to name the episode Ashes of Character Creation.
Well, darn. Maybe another time.
Maybe another time. And as always, partner in show and life, Chibi, how are you today?
Hello. I am good. I'm a little sleepy because I've had a long week and it's been doing nothing but raining here. So I'm going to do my best to be as peppy as I can.
Yeah, it's all we can ask.
I don't have any room to complain though because of what Revac went through. So
yeah.
The context on that is the UK was, it was last week, we had a weird spout of weather. So in a 6-hour period across the entire country, we had like snow, then rain, then sun, then clouds, then more snow. Then it was actually hailing at one point, sleet, more snow, more sun, more clouds, more sun, more rain, more snow in about 6 hours. And everyone all up and down the country was experiencing it all at different times. So 50 miles north of me were experiencing sun whilst it was just absolutely throwing it down with rain where I was. And then another 50 miles south of me was experiencing snow. And it was just like, okay, well, up is down, right is left. We're just going to roll with it.
Sounds to me like with all those hot and cold spots and wet and dry spots, it's like we're not experiencing global warming, we're experiencing global microwaving.
Yeah, that's probably the best way. The only consistent thing was the temperature. It stayed at like a mild low Celsius, about 3-4 Celsius, which I think is about 48 Fahrenheit, something along those lines.
Oh goodness.
It was cold. It was far too cold.
Oh man, I couldn't deal with it. I would go nuts. I
don't want to deal with it. I want to live in Australia for like the end of the year where it's nice and warm, and then come back to the UK when we've got our 3 months of summer.
Yeah, we were just talking about that with each other. Like our ideals are kind of close to like each other with our, like, this is what I'd prefer in terms of weather and temperature. So
yeah. So today's show, by the way, since we are an hour and 15-20 minutes late getting started, it's going to be a little bit shorter. We're only going to be really running for about another 35 minutes. So super fast. Give us the 10-sentence version of who you are in case people don't know you. What do you do? What do you focus on with your content and whatnot? What do you enjoy most about Ashes?
Yeah, no, really great questions. So I'm Revac, if the title hasn't said so already. I've been making content now for a couple of years. I've actually started to come back slightly off of a small break because I got a new job. I focus on creating content for games like Star Citizen and Ashes of Creation. And kind of I've had like that 8-month hiatus because of work and everything along those lines. I actually got my first video out today, first time in 8 months. Although I've been really active on Twitter, just talking absolute rubbish. Nothing interesting there whatsoever. Ashes Creation for me is just the entire project is super interesting. I think they're doing things that I've not seen from any other MMOs, and I'm really interested to see kind of what the dev team are going to put out there, and everything that we've seen so far just looks amazing. And this they're going down the right route, and I think that's what's super important to me. And I know a lot of people who were excited for other MMOs. We're going to talk New World here. People were really excited for New World, and then they just got absolutely slammed. And I don't think a lot of people had a great experience with New World. I know I didn't. So I feel like Ashes of Creation itself is very, very much going down the right path, and just please make it good.
Right.
That's how it feels, and that's why I definitely got into the project, and I've been super interested and wanted to make loads of content on it for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Pardon my absence from the conversation. I was making sure I posted on the Discord that we're live real quick for Ash's Discord, but I was having trouble finding you, Revac, in there, and I was like, is he even in here?
I like to hide.
That's fair.
Like a ninja.
Oh. Sorry, Alexa's decided to wake up and scream at me.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh.
I'm going to turn that down because it's very late here.
Yeah.
Alexa, go to bed.
We found a couple of interesting conversation pieces, but the most important one being Revac's newest video, where he definitely goes over the character creator and kind of talks about it and gives his own views.
Yes, loved it.
Yeah. And we have, let's see, a couple of things about the character creator. One that I think I understood what they're trying to say, but they kind of said it in a weird way where it actually made people think that you had to pay for the character creator. If you guys wanted to talk about that real quick, we'd probably start off with that since you made your video about the character creator.
Yeah, I think I might have missed that bit about paying for it. I definitely missed that because I would have probably brought that up. Where was the miscommunication in that bit then?
You don't have to pay for it. The title is Make the Character Creator Free. You don't have to pay for the character creator. I think it's just more so it's locked behind the between the A1 and the A2.
Right.
Okay. So the thought process behind it was that mainly the people that are having access into Alpha 2 would have access to it, and they're like, well, why don't you make it available to everybody? Like, yeah. And so I think there's like a whole conversation in there, but the key thing I wanted to pull out from that, because I played Final Fantasy 14, what do you think of having the character creator as like a little benchmark for people knowing if they can handle Ashes or not with their computers?
I mean, I'm all for that. Any kind of like predefined test that can show you, what the engine's going to show off. Is it going to be able to run on my PC? Anything along those lines. And something that is open to everyone, I think is really important, because there's not a lot of people out there that know about the Can I Run It website, where it will take like your information, like, can I run this game, and go through whether or not it thinks you can.
I didn't know about that either. So a case in point, I guess.
I use it so many times when I was kind of building up my computer just to see if I could run certain games, because it will go through kind of the minimum specs, the required specs, and whether or not you should be able to run it. But having something running in engine to see if your computer could run it, huge thing. And I mean, just even opening up a character creator early, I think is really, really big, really important, full stop. So I can't see anything but positives for releasing it early, for, like he's given the example there of seeing it all in engine. But I mean, let's face it, when something gets released, you just want to play it. So a lot of people, their starting character, they tend to just go default and just run with it.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it. I think it's brilliant.
I dig it. And just really quickly to put this out there, Elias, since we were so late starting up today, we're going to be only streaming for about another 30 minutes. So
yeah, we're just like
interacting,
going through it real fast.
Yeah, we're going to try and be super fast, chop. So we may not interact as much in chat, verbal chat. We'll be typing chat though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love
but I'm glad
if the character creator
in here. Sorry.
Yeah, we're definitely happy
to see you. It's just what they typed. Yeah.
Just got out of the shower and have a cool. Oh man. A cold bear. I know you meant beer, but it just sounds funny. But yeah, I would love if the character creator had different things you could do as far as putting different suits of armor on and different just clothing, and had different lighting effects you could put on, like have explosions off in the background, like as if you're in a siege or something, and then have an automated mode that is somewhat like a smoke test engine, so to say. Like, is your machine gonna die trying to run this? You could just hit start, and it'll have all the things going at the same time to really stress your computer out. And you can kind of scale it up or down, and that would actually be really neat, because for one, it would give you a lot of chance to really see different lighting conditions for your character, and how does this hair really look in bright sunshine? How does it look in the dark? How is this scar gonna come across in the middle of an explosion? I want to look like a badass on the siege field, man.
Yeah, I can completely get on board with that. I think that's one thing that character creators just don't do, is like show off your character in different lighting effects. I think there's been multiple occasions where I've done like a character in Mass Effect, and then I've gone, yeah, that character, my shepherd looks amazing, and then I've gone into the game and I've gone, not kind of no, that doesn't look right at all. So I agree. Having different lighting, different settings, different locations, that could be really, really important, even if it's a case of just the character, like you said, running through a battlefield as you're creating them. Can be the difference between having somebody who looks amazing all the time and having somebody who looks really awkward in like a darker lighting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That scar on your face makes you look like a sissy in the explosions, man. The lighting hits it and it looks all weird. It's supposed to look weird, not scary weird. Make just weird. That's it.
Yeah. Sorry about the sudden name change. I started streaming and matches, but all good. I have to admit I didn't recognize the name, but I knew that you must be friendly because you've been subbed for 6 months. Thank you, by the way, for that. But I was like, who's this person? I was trying to like quietly investigate it.
Who's this name I have forgotten? No, just haven't seen it before. That's all.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, because I know you were saying the benchmark was the word that you were looking for, kind of thing. Oh, it's okay. Gotcha. Raven. Okay. Cool. Gotcha.
Okay.
So I think that's also another point that OP made for that, was that it would make it available to a lot more people so that they could see the quality of the game and everything ahead of time. And maybe people who weren't really sure, this might like lean them one way or another. I'm not really sure how specifically a character creator can, outside of like, a lot of people like the character creator, but there's a certain amount of people that they don't really care about the character creator. They care about the combat. They care about like the in-game stuff. So I think for a certain amount, oh no. Yeah, basically I think it will help to a certain amount, but not everybody who may have been brought in to Ashes will be brought in specifically just by the character creation tool. But I agree. But it would be nice to have it. And somebody was talking about on the forums, beyond the character creator being able to individualize your character with like dyes and layered clothing, etc. And I know dyes are planned in terms of the in-game stuff where you can go around and create different dyes or earn different dyes. And I think that's going to be really, really cool. But here's a conversation that I think we've touched on a couple of times. And I remember maybe Steven asking if he thought we should have different hair colors in game. More like if you can dye your clothing, you should be able to dye your hair. Like it would make sense. What is your stance on that, Revac?
Yeah. I can't even talk English, my own language. Come on. The more customization options, the better in every single game. If I want my hair to be blue, why can't it be blue? Like, it's just going to make everything just that much better. And you're completely right. Anything to do with more customization, and even down to the dyes, dyeing my hair color, dyeing any facial hair, body hair. Let's go as far as that. If I wanted to just paint myself green and run around for a little bit screaming, this is my swamp, then please just allow me to do that. And that's why I think it's a great idea. Continue to allow people to use their imagination to just create the most random stuff, but have good fun doing it. Because you could run into somebody that looks blue and you think, how have you done that? And that's a conversation starter that can also breed people like kind of talking to one another and more communication and more gameplay. So I'm always for more customization. Always, always, always.
Yeah, so I actually was thinking about this the other day. I would be all for it. Maybe not like neon colors, like not neon electric green and neon electric blue, but something that you could imagine obtaining with, natural ingredients around you that you're going to craft. And maybe a little help from magic with some of the more exclusive hair dye colors, maybe. I don't know. That'd be pretty neat. I was even thinking, like, so they have steampunk, right? And they have cyberpunk. Is there such a thing as, like, mana punk? Where it's, like, Renaissance magic swords era, like, punk style? Do they have that? Because that would be amazing.
I'd love to see it.
Right?
Yeah.
I think the kind of magic element of customization might be a really good tool as well. Like, you could have a particular aura around you at a certain time, depending on certain
mana
factors
punk.
as well. So,
Yeah.
kind of mana punk thing. You've got like this lighter blue aura around you because that's one of the customization options for mages, for example. Imagination. Just let's go with that.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that for a cosplay sometime. I'm gonna come up with mana punk style. Yes. But the thing that got me really thinking about it though was with the hair gradients that you could do, where you could have it like the gray could start at any given point. Yeah. If you could take the gradient and spin it and rotate it in any which way, so that it could either be like strands, like it's gray here and black and gray and black or whatever, and you could actually add more striations or more layers to it. So you could have, say, three gradients in a row, make them different colors if you wanted to, or the same color, and just alternate two different colors or whatever, and then rotate it. You could actually do things like the ombre effect with your hair, have it be like lighter at the tips or what have you. You could even if you're trying to play an aged whatever, you could make it so you have like two gray stripes right here, and then black and then grayer up towards your temples and such. And it would actually be kind of a natural look even. So it would support the funky stuff as well as the more natural. Yeah, no, I could get on board with that. Absolutely. I mean, they've already got like a drag and drop system in place with the tattoos and the scars. Why not be able to do that with the hair, or even just like something as simple as like a paintbrush to specify where you want those accent colors to be. And then you said kind of twists and sliders and anything along those lines. I think looking at the tool itself in its current state, it's already incredibly well detailed and really well focused, and it's only a first stage. And I feel like there's so much more that they want to put into it. And having these kind of conversations, especially getting community involved to say, let's be able to have a paintbrush and paint, not necessarily paint, but specify where you want those accent colors, throw another third gradient in there for those different effects. It's well within their gift, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think
also,
so.
for those of you that are watching over on YouTube, at this point in time, because I assume we're probably going to be a little behind, but at this point in time, Ashes or Intrepid has actually put in a request to hear back feedback on the character creator, and this is a trend that I've noticed over the last few months, where they'll showcase and then literally call to action for feedback for it. And I've been enjoying that a little bit more because I'm enjoying the here's the Vec, give us your feedback. Here's the Pirate, give us your feedback. What are your thoughts? What do you think? Here's the Sandal Lord meme as he's getting a sandal tattoo on his ribs. And what are your thoughts of that? Oh, just kidding. I'm moving it to my face. Like, but I really enjoy that. And I think being able to take even this part of the feedback and add it in terms of like, I think this is really cool, but it'd also be really cool to customize this, that, and the other. Like, I wonder what it's going to look like to do the dyeing of things and customizing of the gear and whatnot. And the blue aura around you, perhaps that's a customizable option as well. Maybe you can make it be purple instead of blue, etc. So like, I think it'd just be really interesting to see what they do, because I think they are trying to make it as unique as possible for everybody. And I think that's a really, really cool and awesome thing. And I mean, it shows, like, look on that screen. It absolutely shows. I will say, I was going to make a comment that it kind of looked like a couple of them looked like 2D characters initially. And then they got into like the actual thing with them adjusting things. And I was like, okay, now that looks 3D to me.
I know what you mean. The kind of appearance tab itself, it looked like a very simplistic character creator with some really cool additions. And then they went to sculpt and I went, okay, this is completely different. This is amazing. This is now everything I love about this character creation. So yeah, I can completely I completely agree with you. And I think one of the most awesome things that they said throughout this whole thing is that you're not just going to use it once. It's not just going to be for your character as well. You may have the opportunity to create NPCs that work on like your homestead and stuff like that. And I mean, that's absolutely fantastic, because with character creators, you literally create your character and that's it. You take like Cyberpunk, for example. Yeah, that had a good detailed character creator, but you never saw your character and you never used it again, the whole creation thing. So it was kind of a lot of time wasted spending forever doing it, whereas Ashes, because it's more of a third person experience anyway, you're going to get more out of that. But actually seeing NPCs that you possibly would have created, and as I said in my video today, maybe a new you get a new NPC that comes through and that could actually be modeled after two characters that you've already got, and it could necessarily be a child of those two characters thanks to the blend option. It's a lot of possibilities that I'm already seeing at this point that could completely manifest and change in the future.
I just know that I've already decided that depending on how the freehold system works, like if you have one freehold per account, it's going to get very interesting on my freehold. If you can have one freehold per character, which would make the world really crowded, so probably not that. But I've decided that I'm going to have the stereotypical mad mage. He's going to be quite insane. And he's also going to be whatever will pass as an alchemist in this world. And he's going to, with alchemy and magic, he's going to be creating clones of himself, and they are going to go awry in many different ways. So that blend and sculpt thing is going to come in amazing, because I'm just going to be cloning the mage character and just making minor weird adjustments that, you know, this one has a droopy eye, that one has a bulbous nose, this one has a whatever, but they're all clones of the same guy, and you just never get it right.
So you got to be really sinister when you're doing it as well. Just like pop on a voice, make a video of it. I'm going back to the basement to make another clone as you're wandering off.
I think I've got it right. I think I've got it right. Yes.
Oh my word.
I can see it. I would love that. I would watch them all day.
Oh boy. Somebody was suggesting the idea of doing Control Z in character creator, so that way you don't have to worry about losing anything. Like, wait, no, I liked how that looked, Control Z. I will take that one step further, and actually, as they begin to customize the character and then swap, I guess, origins or body type or whatever, it completely lost everything. Like as soon as he clicked it, And for me, that was a little bit discouraging because I was like, well, what if I'm like playing with stuff and I like how this looks and that looks together, but I want to see how it looks together on this model without having to go back through all the things. And I feel like if they could just, unless it's unique per race, which I absolutely understand that being a thing, then they could probably just have like the memory of it and then a reset button when you click on the new thing if you don't want the memory to be kept.
No, I think I agree with you.
Or almost having like a history, like Photoshop does, where you can just click on a point in history and say, just remove all this stuff back to before I started messing with his face. It was great before. I don't know what I just did, but undo all
that.
That
was exactly the same like thought process I was going through Photoshop. They've got a brilliant system like that. It could be something as simple as like a template, not a template, but basically an option that you press and it will save your character at that exact point. And then as you kind of go through, you can then revert to it or resave the character of how you like it now to that point as well. I think there's various different options they can do. But I agree with you, when they started to go back into different characters and suddenly the entire character reset, I'd be really disheartened if I'd spent 2 hours on a character, pressed the wrong button, and then suddenly everything's reset, and then that's it. I'm off to throw myself, out a window or something because that's just great. All that time's gone.
Right.
So I agree with you. Some sort of revert system or like a template save system, anything like that. Absolutely. I think Elden Ring's got a really good template system to use on their character creator, but that's kind of, you can then save that template and do it across multiple characters. Even something along those lines, and with it opening up early, just having like 50 templates of characters that you really like.
I can just imagine the forums and lists of character templates being saved and uploaded there.
Yeah, agreed.
I just can't wait for the monstrosities to be created. Oh, I cannot wait for that.
So for those of you joining a little late, sorry, today's stream is going to be a little shorter. So we're just kind of firing off these topics and going at it real quick. I put the link in the chat already for the Dev Discussions 40. Also, Elias, please do share your mead. We need the mead. It makes you less mad to counter your concoctions with more. Oh, jeez. So Dev Discussions number 40 about enemy indicators. When it comes to enemy conning or indication systems in game, what features do you like? If you do like indicators, what extent or delineation? Below are some examples of these systems, what they mean and how they work. Let us know what you prefer or if you have any new ideas. So when you target an enemy, which option below do you prefer? 1, old school style. You see only the level of the enemy and the colors indicator if they are below, at the same, or above your level. If you are in a party or raid, the indicators logically conclude that you can take on a higher level enemy. Number 2, intended audience style. You see the level of the enemy, color indicators, and intended audience indicators for solo players, parties, or raids. Stars, triangles, borders, skulls, etc. Keeping 8 player sizes in mind, would you prefer solo, party, raid, or more precise solo, small party, medium party, large party, small raid, and or full raid indicators? And finally, hardcore, no indicators, TTRPG style. You do not know if the player, you do not know the power of the enemy nor its intended audience until you encounter and learn about it through your combat experience. I can't finish that because I was playing World of Warcraft before I knew what the borders were, and I walked up and I smacked an elite, and I learned why you don't do that.
Yeah. Oh, that one's got a pretty border. It must be a rare find. Oh.
Yeah, and I smacked it, and it taught me a lesson.
Not gonna do that again.
I'd say the third option appeals to me, but I prefer probably option 1, but I'd be interested in trying option 3. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think similar.
Yeah, I'd say somewhere in between 1 and 2 is what I would typically prefer. Like, just level of the enemy. I mean, to be honest, you either need the level or you need the colors. You don't really need both.
Yeah.
It's either green because you can totally take this at your level. You're right level, or red. No, it's above your level. You're gonna get smashed. Or, gray if it's way below your level and you're wasting your time on it. Or you put the level there.
For, like, not an enemy. Yeah.
Yeah. Just for example stuff. But then you could put.
Yeah, that's fair.
Some kind of an indicator to say, like, hey, this is totally a soloable thing. Hey, this one you're going to need a party. You're going to need a big party, and this is a raid world boss. Don't mess with this unless you're prepared.
Yeah.
Like a couple indicators. You don't need like 1,700 of them.
I love that, Nair. That's a great idea. Revac, what's yours?
I mean, 1 seems like the most logical point, and I think it's the most accessible overall. My preference would be 3, because I feel like it would be a little bit more immersive in terms of the gameplay. But I can see it being a real big problem for like newer players and stuff like that, depending on how they do their world scaling. Is it going to scale with you as a character, or is it just going to be like zonal? I'm not 100% sure. But I would love to have option 3 and actually have to learn about the creatures that you're facing due to immersion. But I can see that being a massive turn off for some people who are not dedicated to like learning about those beasts and just want to go in and just slap things. Because I mean, we all get to that point sometimes, right? You just want to go up to something and just go till it slaps you back. And I fear that there are going to be a few times where I've gone, hey, slap, and that's it. I'm then 6 feet under from one stomp. So, yeah, my preference would be 3, but my silly brain is saying 1.
Yeah. Thank you for the redeem, Lizuki. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. I like the idea of like learning about an enemy through encounter. Stretch. But perhaps that could be done in a different way. Maybe you're able to see how big or bad the evil guy is. But then as you learn and you fight X amount of them, you become better at killing them because you learn what their weak points are. Maybe there's like a way to kind of smush those a little bit more together. Like, yeah, I can take this guy and he's not going to kill me immediately, but I'm not going to be as good at killing him as I would if I had been like killing like 10 of him. And there's like a chance to like suddenly gain another percentage towards proficiency against that monster type or something like that. As if this is Monster World or Monster Hunter World, but
yeah, Monster Hunter. Yeah.
The most depressed person
No, I agree. It does look super depressed, to be fair.
But yeah, I think honestly, I like that idea.
I do as well.
I just wanted to really quickly respond to Nair's. Yeah, exactly. Like let the battles teach you things, but let the game record everything for you so that you don't have to go, okay, well, I remember that some of these lizard things were really tough, and I think it was those, but I don't remember for sure if it was the green ones or the yellow ones. One of these is going to wipe us, and one of these is cool to farm. And doing that like the entire time over the gigantic world that there is would be kind of tough, especially if they're going to have level variances in the same area.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see something along those lines, but if we take The Witcher 3 as probably a good example of this, you kind of, as you progress through the game, you learn creatures' weaknesses and stuff like that. And maybe there's a way to do it within Ashes of Creation where the more you fight certain things, there are like journal entries for certain types of creatures that you learn their weaknesses and what they're resilient to. And then, of course, you get like a buff plus 5% damage to this creature because you fought them so many times. But I think that could go a long way to upping the immersion again, and then keeping you kind of in that journal focused on preparing for those fights. If you know what you're going to be up against, is another thing that they could probably look to do across those sort of lines. But I don't know how detailed that would be from a development point of view. Yeah, like a codex.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Alrighty, so as we had mentioned before, it was going to be a really short night tonight because we got started way too late, and sorry about
guys. We figured it out though, as you can tell. We're here.
Yeah, we're good now. So hopefully we'll be good next time. So really quick, do you have any closing words there, good friend?
No, just a big thank you for inviting me again. I'm looking to work on a project about essentially server merging in the end game and what that could potentially look like, and what can be done to make that more fun and enjoyable for the server that's being shut down. So I think I might be leaning on a couple of members of the community and what kind of ideas and thoughts people have. But that's it, really. Again, just a huge thank you for inviting me today and talking about the character creation, which has been just a huge highlight for me for Ashes of Creation over the last couple of months.
Yeah. And you should probably make that a forum thread or something. I'm sure people there would love to give their feedback.
Yeah, I'm planning on hitting up Reddit for it and seeing what people have got. I've got a good idea in place. I just want to write it down.
Yeah, fair.
And then probably make a video off the back of it as well.
Nice.
There you go. Just don't steal my Mad Mage.
Oh, but it's such a good idea.
No, steal away. Feel free. The more Mad Mages, the better. The more Mad Mages, the better. But
unfortunately, knowing
yes,
me,
everyone...
I'm going bard anyway.
Well, there you go. Well, the bard could, they'll have his own little harem going on, I'm sure. But yes, sorry about the really abrupt chop off here, folks. We love you all. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. But we were late, so we actually have a hard cutoff at about 9 o'clock, which is minute from now. So I think we're going to set up to raid Sim because he just started up about an hour and a half ago. And thank you again for showing up here. We love you all.
Yeah.
Mwah.
Mwah.